So now that you've got your frame all done in construction lines, our next step is to actually give those lines and turn them into tubes. So we're going to do that by using a new tool called the offset tool. The offset tool is a really cool tool that will take one line and create a copy of it offset a certain amount. So I'm going to click on offset tool, and let's first offset our seat tube. So I'm going to zoom in on my seat tube. And the seat tube, looking at the dimensions on the previous slide, the seat tube is 32 millimeters. And so if I offset it, I'm going to offset it 16 millimeters. And we're going to make sure that it's selected to bidirectional. And as soon as I click on it, you can see that we have a preview of what it's going to create. And that looks perfect. So I'm just going to click OK on that. Now I want to do the same thing on the top tube, and the top tube has the same dimensions. So I'm going to click offset, click on my top tube, and again I've got a preview of 16 millimeter offset. Looks good. Click OK. I'm going to go through and do that to all the tubes. So my down tube is a little bit larger in diameter. So my down tube is actually 44 millimeters. So we'll change that to 22 millimeters on each side. Click. 22 millimeters on each side. And then my head tube, we're going to offset that as well. Offset on the head tube is 38 millimeters. And so we'll offset that 19 and click there. And then after we've done those, let's go down to, we got to get to our bottom bracket and chain stays. All right, so we're going to offset the seat tube or seat stays, which are 16. So I'm going to do 8 on each side, and then click. That looks good. And my chain stays are 22, so I'm going to offset that 11 millimeters on each side. Click OK. And then now we need to go in and draw a circle for our bottom bracket. And the diameter of a bottom bracket shell is 40. So it's a radius of 20. So for this one, I'm just going to draw it, use my dimension tool, and dimension that as 40. Okay, looks good. And so now you should have, the other couple things we need to do is we need to top off this seat tube here. I'm just going to draw a line across like that. And then I'm going to come up to my head tube and do that same thing. I'm going to draw a line across the top of my head tube, and then I'm going to draw a line on the bottom of my head tube. All right, so that's the video on how to use the offset tool to offset all the tubes in your bike frame drawing. All right, good luck.